Okay, let's go over these problems. We have Chapter 2, Review and Test, page 97. For problems 1 through 3, it says use the table. So we have our table is right here, so we're going to use this information to help us solve problems 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so first I look and I have 3 different kinds of trees here. I have the ivory silk lilac, the white pine, the bur oak, and I have prices here. Now, why are there 2 sets of prices? Well, one is a regular price, and the other is a special price if you buy 3 or more. This is kind of like our math on the spot video that we had earlier in the chapter. And over here I have 3 more trees, hazelnut, red maple, and a birch. And again, I have a regular price for these trees, and then I get a special discounted price if I buy 3 or more of them. Okay. So let's look at problem number 1. There's my question mark. And my question is, what is the cost of 3 bur oak trees? 3 of them. Okay. So I look up here, I find my bur oak. Here's the cost, but that's the regular price. The price if I buy 3 or more is $32 each. Instead of paying $35 each, I get a discount. And since right here you see I'm buying 3 of them, I get to use the discounted price of $32. Okay. So, how am I going to find that total cost? Well, if I'm buying 3, the first one I buy is going to be $32. The second one I buy is also going to be $32. Excuse my handwriting. And the third one I buy is going to be $32. Okay? So, I could find the price by adding these up. That's one way to do it. But we can do this quicker. Okay? The faster way to do it would be to simply multiply. So I'm going to take my price of $32 each, and I'm doing 32 3 times. 32 for the first bur oak, 32 for the second bur oak, and 32 for the third bur oak. So I'm going to times it. I'm going to do 32 3 times. Okay. Now I could work this out in expanded form and do 30 times 2. Ooh, that's very messy. And 2, or I'm sorry, and times 3, look at me, Mr. Music, and 2 times 3, okay? I could do it that way, but I'm going to work this out just using regrouping, okay? So I'm going to do my 3 times 2, that's 6, I'm going to do my, and then I'm going to do my 3 times 3, and that's 9, okay? And so that's 96 now. What does that represent? 96 what? Well, let's go back to our question. What is the cost of 3 bur oak trees? So I'm looking for the cost, so this is $96. That's what unit we're using. Oh my goodness, this is hard to write with. Hopefully I'll get better as we go. Okay, so this is going to be $96 for all 3 of those. Okay, let's go on to problem number 2. Pull up my pen. I got it going. Okay, here we go. Mr. Tan buys 4 white pine trees and 5 birch trees. What is, and there's my question mark. What is the cost of the trees? Okay, show your work and explain how you found the answer. So this is 2 parts. I have to do 2 things. Okay, first I'm just going to work it out mathematically. So 4 white pine trees. So I got to find white pine. There's white pine. And which price am I going to pay for each one? Am I going to pay the regular price, or am I going to pay the discounted price? The discounted price says I have to buy 3 or more. So that's 4. So yeah, that would count as 3 or more, because 4 is more than 3. So I'm going to pay $37 for each one of these white pines. I'm going to show that work, 37. And I'm going to buy 4 of them, so it's going to be times 4, 4 times. I'm going to do 37 4 times. Okay, now birch trees, so I got to find my birch trees. Oh, there's the birch right there. And I'm buying 5 of those, so again, that's more than 3, so I get the discounted price on all of them. So they're going to be $8 each, and I'm, just like the problem says, I'm buying 5 of them. That's going to be times 5. Okay. So let's work that out. Again, I can work this out in expanded form, but I'm going to multiply it using regrouping. 4 times 7, 28. 4 times 3 is 12, plus the 2 that I regrouped, that's going to be 14. And then 8 times 5, that is 40. Okay? So this represents, 148 represents the price for the 4 white pine trees. And 40 represents the price for the 5 birch trees. I'm paying $8 each. I got 5 of them. Okay. Now let's go back to our question. It says, what is the cost of the trees? So that means all the trees. So I have to take the price of my white pines plus the price of my birch trees. Okay. So I'm going to take that $148. That's my white pines plus the $40, which it costs for my 5 birch. 8 plus 0 is 0, 4 plus 4 is 8, 1 plus nothing is 1. So, $188. Okay. Now, explain how you found the answer. Okay, so this is another part. You guys can write a little smaller. I'm using this electric writing utensil, and it's a little harder to write with. So I'm going to erase what I have here. Okay. And now I'm going to explain my answer. Okay. So how did I find the answer? Well, I took the discounted price of the white pines, this is going to be sloppy, but it's best I can do. Discounted. Again, I hope I get better at this as I go. Discounted price of 4 white pines plus the discounted, I'm going to run out of space here. Discounted price of the 5 birch trees. Okay. And I can add then I added. So again, when it asks you to explain how you found the answer, don't worry about getting too technical. It just basically means write out in words what you just did. So I wrote out in words. I took the discounted price of the 4 white pines. Here's the discounted price of the 4 white pines, plus the discounted price of the 5 birch, discounted price of the 5 birch, and then I added, which is simply, that's what I did. Okay, now let's go on to number 3. And again, we're going to be using our table to help us solve this because it tells us in the instructions for numbers 1 through 3, use the table. So Rudy will buy 3 ivory silk lilac trees or 2 bur oak trees. Okay, so he's either getting 3 ivory silk lilacs or 2 Burke oak trees. He's not getting both. He's getting one or the other. He wants to buy the trees that cost less. Okay, so he wants to spend the least amount of money he can. What trees will he buy? There's my question. What trees is he going to buy? Is he going to pick the ivory silk lilacs or the Burke oak trees? And then the second question, you notice there's a second question mark, says how much will he save by picking the cheaper option? Well, to figure that out, we have to find the cost of the lilacs and the cost of the bur oaks. Okay, so there's 3 ivory silk lilacs. So ivory silk lilac, oh, I'm buying 3, so I get the discounted price of $22. And I'm buying 3 of those, so it's going to be times 3. And my bur oak trees, I don't get a discount because I'm only buying 2, and the discount kicks in when I buy my 3rd. So I'm only buying 2 at $35 a piece. So 35 times 2. Okay, 3 times 2, that's 6. 3 times another 2, that's 6. 2 times 5 is 10. 0 goes down, carry my 1 into the tens place. 2 times 3 is 6, plus the 1 I carried, that's going to be 7. So, we look, my 3 ivory silk lilac trees are going to cost $66, and my 2 Burke oak trees are going to cost $70. So what trees will he buy? So the first question that's asked, well, he's going to buy the 3 ivory silk trees. Rudy will buy the 3 ivory silk lilac trees. Okay. And I could add my period at the end. Kind of running out of space. Okay. So, how much will he save, though? We know he's going to go with the cheaper one, $66. But how much money is he going to save by choosing that option? Well, let's take a look. In order to do that, we're going to have to find the difference. And when we find the difference, that means subtract. So I'm going to do 70 minus 66. I borrow from the 7. That makes that a 10. 10 minus 6 is 4. So he's going to save $4. So I'm going to write that in as well. He will save $4. All right, we're done with the first page of the warm-up. Or, excuse me, of the review. We're ready to go on. Good job.